And welcome to DIY Sprouts. For our first video in our garden planning series, I wanted to start with learning how to interpret and get all the information that one might find on a seed packet. Now, seed packets are not only helpful, but often contain crucial information to help ensure that you have a successful garden.
As you can see here, every seed company designs their seed packets in a slightly different way, and this is just a small variety of what's out there.
So our goal today is to sift through all of that design and all those differences to help you find the information that you need for your garden. So let's start with the front of the seed packet. Now, all seed packets are going to have three things on the front of them. The producer, which is handy to know in case you need to seek out additional information, what it is, in this case carrots, and then the variety, which here is tender sweet. When we say variety or cultivar, what we're talking about is the hundreds of different types that each fruit and vegetable comes in. Take the carrot, for example. We have the standard orange carrot, what most people think of when someone says carrot, but there are also yellow carrots, short carrots, purple carrots with orange centers, even round carrots. The list goes on. All of these look different, have slightly different tastes. Some might be better for eating raw, others for growing in heavy soil. But regardless of their purpose, I definitely recommend searching for different varieties or cultivars of your favorite fruits and vegetables. And maybe try growing something unusual this year. It's all part of the fun of gardening, at least for me. Now, those are the basic three things that every seed packet is going to tell you. But depending on the manufacturer, there might be some other pieces of key information found on the front. The scientific name, which I wouldn't worry about quite yet if you were new to gardening. There might be various certification logos, such as USD Organic, or if you see that little flower pot as shown here, this indicates that it grows well in containers. The last thing to look for on the front, which sometimes it is on the back, is the seed count. The seed count is a good thing to know when you're planning your garden so you can determine how many seed packets you're going to need to buy. There really isn't a standard number of seeds per seed packet. It all depends on what type of vegetable it is, who the manufacturer is. So if you're lucky, the packet's going to give you the actual number, i.e. 800 seeds. However, sometimes they give you it in different ways, such as by weight, either in ounces or grams, or by row footage. Now, in the case of by weight, my recommendation would be to do a quick internet search of the average weight of vegetable seeds. There are plenty of websites out there that have charts that list the information that you're going to need. Just make sure that you're taking all of your information from a reliable source. Now, if you're given the amount by how much it plants, this is what you're going to do. You first want to determine how many total inches the seed packet's going to plant. Most rows are given in feet. If you're given a range, I always go with the lowest number. Multiply that number of feet by 12 to give you the total number of inches in each row. Then multiply that number by the number of rows, which if it doesn't specify, the number is 1. Then you're going to want to look for the seed spacing interval on the back of the seed packet. This should already be in inches, so we don't have to worry about converting it. Take the total number of inches from your row calculation and divide it by the seed spacing interval. This will give you the total amount of seeds. That covers the front. Now we're going to focus on the back of the seed packet, where really a bulk of your information is going to be. So the first thing I want you to look for is the description. This is going to be where the seed packet tells you everything that makes this particular variety or cultivar unique. This is also where seed companies are going to try to sell their product. So the trick here is to sift through all of that information to find what you really need. In the description, you will find the height and spread of the plants, resistances or tolerances, and sunlight requirement. Sunlight requirement will either be denoted in words in the description or by little icons, often both. Most veggies like either full sun, which is 6 to 8 hours of sunlight a day, or partial sun, which is 4 to 6 hours. Next, look for when you should plant these seeds. Seed packets might list this information as a season, say spring or up until midsummer. They may also give you a soil temperature, but most of the time this information is going to be given in relation to frost dates. Now in gardening, there are two frost dates that are important: the last spring frost and the first fall frost. In northern Delaware, those dates are April 12th to April 20th for the last spring frost, and October 25th to November 1st for the first fall frost. So to make sense of what your packet is trying to say, look at a calendar. Find the frost date you will be using. For the start of the season, you'll be using the last spring frost date, and count backwards or forwards from the date to the provided number of weeks. This will determine when you should plant your seeds. As a friendly reminder, the average frost date is more or less a suggestion. The actual frost date is going to vary from year to year. This also goes with the planting date that you determine. It's often the earliest you can plant, but you can still plant after that date. Just make sure to keep an eye on those forecasts before planting. Now that we know the when and what we're planting, we need to figure out where and how to plant it. For the when, some seeds will tell you to direct sow or direct seed. All this means is to plant them outside in soil. Others are going to tell you to start them inside and then transplant or plant them outside at a later date. Sometimes a packet's going to list both. In that case, look for whichever option is labeled as recommended by the seed manufacturer. Seed distance is how far apart you should plant the seeds. Row spacing, for those doing row planting, is how far apart your rows should be from one another. And then the last is thinning. Now thinning is a bit more tricky. When rows are overseeded, thinning is the process when seedlings are plucked to reduce numbers and give the remaining ones enough space to grow properly. So the thinning distance is how far apart you want your final plants to be. That covers most of what you're going to need to know, but there are a couple other pieces of information that you should keep your eye out for. Days to germination. This is how long it'll take before you start seeing sprouts. Days to harvest or days to maturity. This is telling you how long before you'll be able to enjoy your bounty. A couple of things to keep in mind about this date. The number of days listed start from when you plant outside. So if you direct seed, the days start from when you plant. However, if you're starting seeds inside and transplanting them outside, the days start from when you transplant. The second thing is that depending on what you're growing, it might list two different day numbers. This is most common in herbs where the herb leaves and herb seeds are both used. And so it's going to give day numbers to leaf and day numbers to seed. And there we have it, a starting point for making the most of your seed packets. Now, by no means is this a comprehensive list of everything you're going to find on your packet. So if there's something there that I didn't cover, feel free to shoot me an email at the email address provided below. Or if there's something I talked about that you can't find on your seed packet, go ahead and check out the seed manufacturer's website and search for that information there. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, grow healthy, grow sustainably, grow it yourself.